We're attempting to start the stream. You can see. Oh, here we go. Hey, so I'm doing a little impromptu live stream for those who are on board here. It's a little comic. I've been live for a while. I figure I might as well talk to some people. I will share the link out. Let me get the peeps out there in case anyone's listening. Going live, doing a self to live stream. Well, anyone to pop in and talk, or whatever else I'm discussing. I'm also testing out StreamYards. I would guess I will put this tab over here so I could see it. I don't need to watch. We test the sound. Is it good? Okay, so my sound is good on my end. Okay, so let's see where to start this. And my camera looks kind of low res. I'm going to play with upping the camera res a little bit and see if that works with StreamYards. Yep, give me a little better picture. This is the free StreamYard, so I think I can do like 4 people at 720p. You know, I'm not the wealthy type. So, anywho, where to start with? So, as people who follow me on regular videos know, I'm a bit disabled. I can get around. It's just tough to get out of an apartment for a long period of time because of walking and doing the stairs and whatnot. And you know, I've been wanting to get back. I mean, I read comic books on over the years. I wanted to find a place I can deliver comic books. So I finally found one. I've been trying it for about 2 months now. They have a subscription service. They have a regular service you can order for stuff from. I will unbox this sooner or later. I will give some time for people to pop in case anyone does. But first, I want to talk about the place I found. So let's go there first. And so the place is called Things from Another World, which obviously is a play on the movie Things from Another World, right? The Thing from Another World. And now their website is a little clunky when you're actually setting up subscriptions and whatnot. Okay. So for example, let me hide this for briefly so I can get into my account with the password without they did a website update. Okay, good to note. Yeah, they just like your default page in your account shows your it's like self-doxing. It's like crazy. So let's make sure before I show this. Okay, so let's go back. I had to be very careful show us so I don't dox myself. So I'm on the page called My Orders, for example, and these are the orders I have placed. Some of which are my subscriptions. Like for example, I'm subscribed to Conan the Barbarian from Titan Comics. I'm subscribed to Godzilla Here to Be Dragon and Kong Great War, you know, for example. Whereas I ordered a couple of these comics, like I've subscribed to this Antarctica series, so I'm trying to get the back issues of it, and you'll see that when I open up. And that's pre-order, like in the pre-orders for this place again. You can set up all your stuff, like your shipping address, your shipping method. You can have drop downs. This part of the website works great, right? What I dislike from their web, you can choose bag and board. Yep, I want bag and board. You can have your confirmation, blah blah blah. All good there, right? So, and I can go to here, estimate my shipping for the pre-orders. Now one thing this company does, and if you ever hook up with them, it is worth, you know, especially for your pre-orders, right? When you're which you're for example, my week of November 20th, my pre-orders is all this, right? And the shipping is 15.56. But if there was only one comic, it would still be like $14 shipping, you know, because they put it in a pretty heavy duty box. They send it via you can't see that right now. Go back. They put it in a heavy duty box. I won't dox myself. And they pack, it's sturdy. This comes I get from DHL, I think, to be technical with my subscriptions. And so to me, it's worth the shipping to make sure your comics don't come crappy, you know. And I have insurance on it as well. So, and what this does, I can estimate the pre-order. My pre-orders are when I pick something new to add to my subscriptions or something like that. So, responding to someone on the messages. Anyway, so my pre-orders, and as I said, we go back to what you can see here. So at the end, this will tell me my pre-order shipping, right? And I could choose, for example, in this pre-order, to review my next pre-order shipment. Let's go to that one. Just the next, nothing is ready for my next shipment, right? But I'll get an email saying when my next shipment is ready, and I could choose to review it, right? And here's my subscriptions here. Now, this is where the website gets a little clunky. Like this is what I've subscribed to, Conan. This is everything that's coming in my subscription, right? You'll notice there's doubles because when you subscribe to a series, it puts all the alternates in. So you have to go in every month, and if you don't want all the alternate covers, which I don't, you have to knock them out, right? So in this case, I only want one Conan number 7, and you can click on it and it'll load up. I'm going to share this tab instead. So, for example, now you can see I can look at the title. I can look at the art. I can get information about it, like the pricing on it. If I close that down so you don't see that, and I'll share this tab here. Let me go back to presenting again. Screen share. My subscription. Go. So I don't want I don't want that one, right? I'm pretty sure I want this one, which is the one by Fong here. So I will share this tab. And I like this art. I like this cover art the best of all of them. So I will go back over here. And I don't want this one or this one, right? And so I would remove all items, and eventually, I messed that up. So I did it the wrong way. So now I have to go back in and add in. I have to go back to my subs and add them back in. Pre-orders, my subs. Yeah, like I said, the website is clunky, okay? And you see me trying to talk people through it on this video, and obviously it's going nowhere, right? So let's add items. What was missing? And like I said, there's no way to tell which one my subscriptions are still there. So I have to go to my next pre-order shipment. So I know I'll only do it this way. So I will have to go back in and re-add in what I took out of that. The question: did they send me an email saying I did that? No, they did not. Okay, so that's something I'll do later. So let's get. So we've been about 9 minutes. Let's do a little unboxing here to see what came in my shipment. Okay. So let's get the unboxing over with. My Decepticon knife. I want to carefully. Always cut away from yourself. I know. I'm just using the tip to gently score the tape. So I don't want to cut through the comics here. So I got that up. I'm gonna go down here, away from myself, and then away from myself. I don't need to open the whole thing up to get these out. I just need to do this. Hope I didn't dox myself. And we're done with that. So what did I pick up? Well, let's start with the. Put the knife away for safety, of course. So the first thing I got was this issue, which is #1 from Images Transformers series. Okay, let's go visit that website. Image Transformers. Image Comics. So let's look at the picture now. So this was a series premiere. It was cover price of basically $5. I'm not sure that comics are worth $5 to be honest for what you get. But I got on sale I think for 3 something, so I'm not going to complain. The artist and writer the same thing. I've honestly never heard of this guy. Let's just see what he's done. He has a style I like, and I will probably try some of his other stuff here, but we'll see. Now let's go back to the main. So let's take a look-see here now. Now they have a little. They don't use tape. They use a little logo thing, and I like that they use the bags that are slightly oversized, so you don't have to. When you put your hand to get the comic out, you're not wrecking the bag. I'll pull it all out. Put the bag on the side for now. For those who've never seen comic boards, there's a smooth side and a rough side. Some of the more expensive boards have both sides smooth. The smooth side is what goes against the comic. So now Pops reviewed this comic and said it was good. Quality. Now I would not recommend you normally do this. You see I'm floppy shaking it, and you could hear. I think you could hear the click, 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 click. That's the sign of quality construction. The paper is not flopping like toilet paper. Or here's another way, a safer way, right? You could kind of hear the paper flopping against each other, right? So, and the art in this impresses me. I'll just do a couple panels so we can show off a little bit, Now let's see. Is there a notes column in the back? Yeah, look, you hit the advertising GI. I might check these comics out to the 2 GI Joe ones. And it looks like they're gonna have a letters page. I am happy and impressed. Okay. So that's now there's 2 ways you can put your comic back in the bag. You can put on the board, slide the board in. You can slide it. Now, why would you? Well, if the bag were the one that's too tight for you to fit your hand in, right? You definitely want to put the board in by itself first. Okay. because that would allow. Because otherwise, if you try to put them at the same time, you'll rip the bag. Okay, but because it's big enough, but that's not the safe way. The safest way to put your comic back in the bag. I know I'm being pedantic about this. Is to let the board, put it on the board, raise it off the bottom so that this is what slides down, so you don't crease the bottom when you slide it down, right? And make sure your fingers over the stick so you don't stick to the comic. Get it in there, and see if you see how I'm playing at the edge. If I did that with the edge of the comic, it would rip. But because I'm playing with the board, I could usually get it to go in. I weren't ultra clumsy. Of course, I'm looking like a fool. Trying to act so cool. Yeah, killer bee. Yeah, see, now I'm saying. Now, because I'm letting the board do the slide the bag, it's not going to rip the comic. Drop it in. A little plop to make sure they're even. Comic back in the bag. Now, I'm not going to belabor that with everyone, but that's. And then once you get it like this, I would like to give it a little shake up so that the bag, to make sure that it's off there. So, what else we got in here? Okay, so I will go with I have The Witcher. This, I believe, is an import comic from Dark Horse. Looks pretty good. Let's get her open up. Witcher Wild Animals. There was some preview. Let's go over to. By the way. Oh, by the way, let's go back over here for a second. On the images page, what they do nicely is you can see the variant covers down below. So when you're hunting for comics to buy and you're stuck at home and you can't go to the store, I like this cover a lot because of the old school Decepticon covers with Starscream, Skywarp. Skywarp was my favorite Decepticon as a kid. Okay, partially because he could teleport, but he had this cool purple and black scheme, you know. Let's take a look, see all the variant covers. It's Optimus fighting Starscream. There's Optimus with the kids. And, of course, the spoiler cover. So let's go look at The Witcher. Image Comics. The Witcher. I do have someone watching the stream with me, so hopefully if you're out there, welcome to the stream. The Witcher. So this is okay. So this is the new Witcher. There we go. Yeah, and you could buy direct off of Dark Horse. I like their site for that sort of reason. This is a comic that I believe is written by a Polish author, so that's pretty cool. Let's take a look inside. They don't have any alternate covers, so let's look. Let's sample the inside here. Again, now notice how floppy this is. To me, this is not as well constructed a comic. Okay, there's no. You could still hear a little bit. The spine is good, but I don't think the paper quality is as good. Okay. And this is $1 cheaper than the other one, which I guess is the price difference. So, for example, with this comic, I would never I would always make sure I have a good grip on all the pages, right? Now it's all right. So what I was talking about is you can still hear the good spine because it's right, but the paper quality is just not as good as the Transformers one, even though they're both from Image. So that's the images from Dark Horse. So let's look inside now. And the artwork looks good. You know? Not surprising. So it's a little more, another little artwork preview, right? Okay. So artwork looks good. Let's check the back and see if we have any sort of letters column. Image like to have a nice solid set of horror comics lined up. Just glancing at the back. So the comic that looks interesting, Panya, the Mummy's Curse, right? And they use the inside back cover for their editorial stuff. Not a fan of that, but I guess it does save pages. I would prefer some good art, good back cover artwork. We were advertising this book, and of course, one of the biggest comic they have, Hellboy. They're advertising on the back cover. So again, let's put the comic. So we'll put this comic away. Reseal her up. And I like these heavy stickers because they don't. If you had tape, oftentimes doing this would tear the tape. Here's a comic I saw from Image, which looked interesting to me. See, I accidentally peeled the whole sticker off, which I'm okay with because it's me. So this is a series by Robert Kirkman. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, it's called Void Rivals. It looks a little Gundam-y, which I'm okay with. Kirkman's comics are usually pretty good, even if he's a crap bag in real life. Let's just grab a couple internal shots. You can see that. Now quality, again, this is that same like good spine, paper not so much. That Image, I guess that's Image standard $4 package. Not going to complain too much about it. I just the higher quality paper just is a little more resistant to wear and tear. It takes and lasts longer. That's the main difference. So my next thing is a series I found that looks really interesting. I'm a subscriber. So I subscribed starting issue 3, which I have to fix basically. But so it's Bloodborne: The Bleak Dominion. Okay. I know there's another Bloodborne series, and I believe this is a horror series, right? Oh, much higher quality. Okay. And only $4 Titan Comics. Same quality spine as the Dark Horse. Paper and cover quality, though, as good or better than the Transformers. Okay. So, granted, it seems a little thinner than the what you got from Image with the Transformers comic. There's less pages, I think. Look at this beautiful cover, right? And let's go take a look at Titan Comics. Blood. This could be it. So this is Titan Comics main page. This is the Bloodborne: The Bleak Dominion #2, which I will show off in a minute. I mean, look at you can go for this stuff digital. The artists I always tell visually if I like them or not, but This guy Colin Dunn has written other Bloodborne comics, so let's look him up and see what else he's written just to get an idea. I did this before when I picked this comic out, but uh, comic writer. Okay. I can't find anything. Can't find anything by him other than these Bloodborne comics. Okay. So let's take a look inside. Now, I can tell right away. First page. I'm going to love the artwork in this comic book, and the artist is Piotr Kowalski. Let's put that there. This guy here. It's just the other stuff he's done, which he looks like he's done all the Bloodborne stuff. I'll be working my way back through this Bloodborne. Man, the art looks beautiful. I mean, it goes way back. Oh, I have a lot of stuff. Dark Souls. Okay. Yeah. And look, since it's set in the world of Bloodborne. Let's go back. And they'll give you like a little preview for it, and they give you a nice creative page. Now, normally I'd want the inside cover because it's higher quality to have artwork on it because of the less, and this to be over here. But I'm okay because the quality of the paper and the finish mean the artwork, all the artwork you get over here will be excellent. Again, I'm okay with advertisements in comic books. You know, I would like it to advertise outside so they can offset the cost of the comic a little better. You know, look at the detailing on the clothing. That's amazing. I just love it's all nice shadows, but it's not bleak and dark looking. Like this is a dark setting comic, but um it's not how do you say um how would you say uh it's not grim dark looking. It's like Evil Dead 3, for example. It's bright, you can see what's going on. You know. Let me do a little advertising. Okay. So let's put this one away. And we got a little more. This is number 2. Look at this beautiful cover. I love it. This reminds me of the monster character from Darkness Falls, by the way. Ooh, here's some fights with some monsters. That looks kind of nice. And here's some architecture. Look at the architectural details there. And the real nice background work. A lot of times artists will how shall we say, not give you good background details. Okay, now here is the last two comics I got. Now this series intrigued me because it was set in Antarctica, and it appears to be a horror comic, possibly a sci-fi horror comic. And as a Lovecraft fan, I smell Lovecraft. I don't know. I haven't read it yet. So again, cover looks good. We got some sci-fi, some sciencey setting on the cover. It's from Top Cow Comics. So let's go over to Top Cow. Top Cow Comics. And do we have a search? Okay. Oh, here we go, Antarctica. So it looks like, so here's the premise of it. Hannah's life imploded the day her father failed to return from a secret. Ooh, my headset's about to go borky on me. So my headset just died. Okay. I'm not playing any audio on my end, so I'm going to just switch to the live speakers. No one else is talking. Since it's just me, it should be okay. I'll just lower the volume. Okay. I've done live streams before with others talking and have not had to deal too much with how shall we say, feedback. So anyway, so Hannah's life imploded the day her father failed to return from the secret Smith Pearson Research Station in Antarctica. Alone and on the street, she's at her lowest ebb when a friend offers help. Retrained as an engineer, Hannah, there should be a comment in there, secures a job at the same Antarctic station to help search her father and stumbles headfirst into a conspiracy that threatens everything she's ever believed. Title sounds a little wonky, like she's wandering the streets and then be trained as an engineer. But anyway, cover looks good. We said that already. Okay, let's do the paper test. Not happy with the spine. Yeah, it's not rigid. Paper is. I think the paper is actually decent quality. It's got a good texture to it, but the spine. This is going to sound crazy, but properly constructed spine on a book or a comic book, like I don't have a good example next to me of a book, but I'll talk about this in a later date. A properly constructed spine will protect your reading material better than almost anything else other than if you're actually when you're in the act of reading it. Not even you being careful will protect as much as the spine being solidly constructed will. Anyway, let's take a look inside. What do we got? Here's a little contrast. So let's go back to the main picture. So I like the general artwork. I dislike the way he seems to be drawing faces, but that could just be the way these characters look. I won't know until we get well into it, Because when you look at the back cover of the same main character, she looks different. She looks more human there. See, from this angle, she looks a little better. You know, I don't mean attractiveness. I mean the construction of the artwork. The colors look good. Okay, so I think I'm gonna. We'll see. And the last comic that came is Antarctica #2. This is, I believe, a 4-issue miniseries. Our cover has 2 characters on it. She looks better on this cover than the last one. Okay. Yeah, the people artwork in here. Okay, so it looks like, I think sometimes the facial features, the way this guy draws them, or whoever it is, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. I think that's where they draw facial features sometimes. But it could just be, but it differs. Like, I think it may be a particular expressions look, that scrunched up look, which I think maybe like an angsty look or whatever. I like the color contrast they set up with the palette in this one. If you look with the contrast, the reds, they're not all uniform. Even though it's the same color red, the ones further away from the lighting source are darker. So they do good work with the colors. So I think, overall, I got a good batch of comics. I'll probably do a pre-recorded video reviewing some of them at some point. That's just that. Now, one more comic thing I want to talk about. And I'm going to see if I could find a comic article about it. Of course, Matt should have prepped this ahead of time, but Matt didn't do that. Matt is a dumbass. So let's see if I can find 2024 Ultimate Comics Spider-Man. New Ultimate Spider-Man series. Okay. Okay, so let's go to CBR. And we'll share this one. And go to view. So, Marvel is bringing back the Ultimate Universe, right? Now, what was the Ultimate Universe? The Ultimate Universe was, I want to say 2007, maybe, was like main Marvel Comics was in Universe 616, right? So Ultimate Universe was like Universe, I'm making a number up, like 27985 or whatever, right? It was a high number. And it was a different reality. And what it was a reboot of Marvel with the core characters and no previous continuity other than some sort of backstory, like Nick Fury fought in World War II and all that sort of stuff. But in other words, they abandoned all the continuity of any other comic universe, but wanted to tell on continuity bound versions of the characters with some slight twists here and there. Okay. And that was perfectly fine. And everyone loved Ultimate Spider-Man. I mean, and when they killed him off, Peter Parker off, and then we have Miles Morales. Miles Morales is Ultimate Spider-Man 2. I'm perfectly happy with that. I hate that they merged. They should have left him alone over there, continuing. Even if he's the only book in the Ultimate Universe, they just kept going with him over there. It's very stupid that they brought him into the mainstream universe. We didn't need him over there. But whatever. Marvel's ruined their own comics. Now, why am I not going to buy this? Okay. Even though every instinct is telling me to buy this. Why? I have not bought a Marvel comic other than the Darth Vader series, which I bought digitally, since One More Day and Brand New Day. When Marvel spitefully ruined the Spider marriage. Now, if they just rebooted the whole continuity and said, we're just going to start everything from scratch, I would have been okay. Because they could have just wrote a happily ever after for Peter and Mary Jane, the other characters. 616 was done. Do the Ultimates, right? No, they didn't do that. Instead, they had Mary Jane sacrifice her marriage to Mephisto to save Aunt May's life. Now, why he couldn't just go to Doctor Strange or any other of the supernatural people, like, I don't know, Loki, who owed him a favor, hey, Loki, a favor, can you get me help, man? Yeah, hey, Queen's apple, I'll take a bite out of it, she'll be fine. She'll probably live longer than you, No, but I'm not going to quibble over the whole, why I hated One More Day, Brand New Day. But a lot of us who are Spider fans really enjoyed Peter and MJ's marriage, especially as depicted by JMS and Peter David. There was a loving marriage, was supportive. Both characters were independent but capable of working with one another. We were a little upset there wasn't all, and this is another thing I'll talk about with this. If you scroll down, there's a cover and there's an alternate cover. So you see a son and a daughter, right? So I'll get to this in a minute, but in one of the alternate universes of Spider-Man, there was Spider-Man's daughter. Was Spider-Man had suffered an injury. His daughter was a mutant who inherited his powers, and she was May Parker, Spider Girl, and everyone loved that character too. So I'm kind of hoping this is May Parker, that we get Spider Girl back out of this one. Okay, I like the depiction of the artwork. Hickman's. Look at the. There's no problem with that. But this is a bait and switch. They're trying to nostalgia bait people like me back in who love the married Spider-Man, love the older style of characters. They're trying to get us back into here, and either they're going to wokeify this or they're going to twist it in some horrible, horrible way. Okay. One can only hope that Disney's woken up enough to stop doing that. Okay. Now, these are two new kids. If one of them grew up and was gay, that'd be perfectly fine because they're brand new characters. Okay. I'd be cool with that. Right. And Mary Jane here looks like Mary Jane, unlike whatever is in that game. But part of me wants to buy this. Part of me is afraid that if I give money to Marvel, it's like, like in the Godfather 3, the only good line in the whole movie was, just when I thought it was out, they dragged me back in. And that's what this garbage I think is going to be. So let me know out there what you think about Ultimate Spider-Man #1, Volume 2 #1. I mean, if they make it, we'll have to see, I guess, So here, during the 2015 Secret Wars crossover event, Dan the Moron Slott and Adam Kubert. I hate Dan Slott because he was involved in the whole One More Day, Brand New Day thing. I hate him. Hate him for that reason. Hate as a writer, not as a human. Miniseries called Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, which is a big tease. With married Peter and MJ and a superpowered daughter, similar to the one later seen across the Spider-Verse. Jerry Conway and Ryan Stegman later did an ongoing series in that verse. Again, I was tempted, but knew it was like bait and switch, so I didn't go for it. The new Ultimate Spider-Man series, though, is the most major Marvel series featuring Mary Peter Parker and Mary Jane yet. The aforementioned segment did a promotional piece spotlighting the Parker as well. So it comes out on January 10th. There's a part of me that wants to buy it, and a part of me just doesn't want to. Anywho, so I think that's my comic roundup. One more thing. What other comics am I reading on my subscriptions? I will give you a little preview here. I got these about 3 weeks ago. So this series is very intriguing. I haven't read it yet because I don't have issue #1 yet. But Kong, the Great Wars. I want to read that. It's from Dynamite. Godzilla, Let the Here There Be Dragons. Still waiting to get the issue. This is issue 2. It's really issue 1. This is from IDW. This is of course, the series I am most enthused about, which I haven't read it because #1 should be coming next week, which is Conan. #1's in the pile over there. How about that? So I can finally read my Titan Conan comics, right? And this series, which is interesting, Fire and Ice. For those who don't remember the original Fire and Ice movie, this, I believe, is a sequel to that. Mm-hmm. So my comics are all ready for me to go. Got some nice reading materials ready. So what else we can? Okay, so I saw. So I want to do a little mention to Wheel of Time, Wheel of Prime. Okay, so Robert Jordan was a great author who wrote some great stuff. I know him as I'm a fan of his author. I read his stuff with Conan first, and when I went looking for his Conan book, someone pointed out he did his Wheel of Time series he had started. Right, that's how I got into it. Long. I'm not gonna go the whole spiel on it. Right. And then recently, those of you out there who are like on the White Cloak side or whatever know that they had this Wheel of Prime, which is a total mockery of the work of Robert Jordan. So I almost like what to say. Obviously, I have my reviews of the episodes. The episode review will be up by the end of the weekend. But what I do want to say live right now is, where does this leave us as fans of the Wheel of Time or the books? I'm 50 years old. Obviously, I have some health issues you guys can see, and some you don't know about. I'm trying to work on them so I could live maybe 20 more years or whatever, like anyone who's 50 wants to make 70 or whatever. But when will I live long enough to see any good Wheel of Time, whether it's an animation or a live action? And it gets kind of bleak, right? Because this is a great, great series, and you wind up like the books, and you wind up watching this and just being like so many lost opportunities that and there's more lost opportunities coming up, like uh, when they do, they're going to skip basically. So they're going to skip the Dragon Reborn, which is book 3, obviously because they're basically skipping anything Rand has a big moment in. They're either erasing or skipping over or subverting, and at this point you were hate watching it. You can't do anything but hate watch this stuff. Rings of Prime will be out in 2 more months. I'll be hate watching that because this is again, it's even bigger mockery, comparatively speaking. And there's so much stuff going on. We live in an era when there should be entertainment for everyone. We should really make two. You could have taken the budget of Wheel of Prime, split it in half, made woke Wheel of Prime and Robert Jordan's Wheel of Prime, had 2 completely different series, one for the woke people, one for the non-woke people, and everyone could have been happy. And you would have enough production to do it and give all our actors work, which would have been better than what we got. So anyway, what else? There's now the One Piece adaptation that Netflix did. Everyone said is really good, which is fine because it was Oba, I think his name is, or Oda. He had creative control the same way that what's his face for the Terminals had creative control, the same way that Lee Childs had creative control of Jack Reacher TV show. So when the creators have the creative control, you get something good out of it, right? Now there's a Yu Yu Hakusho adaptation coming along from Netflix, and I really like Yu Yu Hakusho. It's probably like in my between 10 and 20th favorite anime. I don't think I've read the manga version of it, and again, in a modern era when we should have a chance of better than not of getting something really good or even okay, we get crap. So what are we stuck with? Other than that, I think I'm almost done here. I do want to. There was one or two other little topics I wanted to see if I find the articles real quick to talk about. Dark Horizons. Here we go. Something that had good potential. So, Henry Cavill has how shall we put it? The fans have faith in Henry Cavill. On The Witcher, he was an adherent to trying to get the series to stick to the books and the game. And the showrunner resisted that. So much so that the scenes where he wasn't in deviate heavily, and the scenes he was in deviate least heavily. And he left the show based on them not following the books. They tried to slam him for it, but his own show people on the show with him said no, he's a great guy, whatever. So he goes over to he decides at this point he's only going to do stuff he has control of, basically. And so he's doing a Warhammer adaptation, and now he seems to have control of the Highlander franchise. Now, this gives me a chance that, and the people doing the Highlander movie is the team that did John Wick. So to me, there is a really good chance that this could work. Okay. Highlander is my all-time favorite movie. Cavill is an actor, although, I mean, I could live with him playing the role of Connor McLeod, because obviously he's way more. But they'd have to get a guy to play the Kurgan, like get the Undertaker from Mark Calloway or someone huge to play the Kurgan, because the Kurgan's supposed to be immense. And the way they did it in the first film, Clancy Brown's like average height, but Christopher Lambert is a midget. They have $100 million plus on this film. They're doing it like John Wick with swords, so it could be good action sequences. It would be nice if they get Christopher Lambert in a little, maybe have him play the Ramirez role. It would be interesting if they do that. I'm seeking my, as I am fond to say, I'm seeking my inevitable Pepsi endorsement. Pepsi, if you want to endorse me with Diet Pepsi, I'm perfectly fine with that. So our article here, let's go over it, some of it. So according to Deadline, the studio will launch sales of the film at the AFM next month with a 2024 production start set for the film, which will be Henry Cavill. We know that. North of $100 million. So looks like it's going to be a targeted, like, mid-budget film, which is good. This does not need a mega budget. Here's Stilisky dubbing it John Wick with swords. And then here we go. They talk about some of the previous versions of the script, right? So that's I've with Cavill and the guys from John Wick doing this, I have some hope for that franchise. Now we've been going almost an hour, so I'm going to try to go maybe another 10, 20 minutes and then call it a stream. I wanted to, let's go back over there. There were two other articles I think I saw that looked interesting. Not that. And no one's out there to ask any questions, so I'm assuming there's like one person listening, so I'm going to assume. What did I see? Sorry to go sound, guys. I was looking around for I don't know if, oh, here we go. So apparently they're doing an Alien TV show. Now let's see who this Noah Hawley. The first thing you do whenever you're talking about a TV show is let's find out who the person is who is doing it. Noah Hawley created it, so let's look up Noah Hawley. Okay. So let's filmography, career. Let's look at this one. So, what has Noah Hawley done? He worked on Bones. Good there. Okay. Let me roll this a little bigger for you guys. The Unusual I heard was okay. I heard the Fargo TV shows was okay. Everyone liked Legion. I wasn't a big fan because it was a Marvel thing and I wasn't watching it, but everyone said this TV show was good. So he has enough of a resume that this could be a good adaptation, right? So let's start the first point. So he says an Alien TV show will break away from the formula established by the franchise's theatrical films, right? The series will not solely focus on the character's survival, as that will become a sustainable TV show, possibly. And Hawley aims to innovate the structure by deviating from the usual trapped in a spaceship or prison scenario and the typical life cycle of the alien creature. Right? So those are your takeaways from this article, right? So, I don't know. I mean, this guy has the chops to pull something off like this, but one of the premise of the aliens is that in isolation the creature is frightening and devastating, but in an environment where you could pull military might against it and technological resources and a future sci-fi society, I'm not so sure. And the last thing we want to do. Okay. Screen rant. Well, okay, we're just about 1 hour. Uh, we're about. Oh, hey. Oh, thanks for the portal. And I am, of course, such a tease. I'm a giant tease. I can tease like a pro. Uh, well, oh no, I'm just trying to find the one article I read that I wanted to cover. Okay, so we'll skip that. I can't find it. Yep, I'm ready for Monday. Nerd portal. It's on my schedule, all lined up. Life will reorientate around it. So ready to go. Okay, so the last thing, I guess, the last thing I really wanted to hit was a book I've been thinking about for maybe 2 weeks now. It's a book I want to reread at some point. Heck, I will never live long enough to read all the books I haven't read that I want to read, or to read all the books that I've read that I want to read again. I would need 40 years minimum just to get to the ones. There are hundreds and hundreds of books I've never read that I want to read, and there are. I've read thousands of books. There's at least 1,000 that I'd want to reread. Okay, I will never live long enough for that. And um, but occasionally I get urged, like like I recently did a Jacob Ironside. We talked about doing Frankenstein, so I reread the novel Frankenstein and by Mary Shelley, and you notice how short this is, and it's better than most modern books that are thousands of pages long. If you want to hear my rants about how modern stuff is just too long, you can listen to me and Jacob Ironside show. They don't understand pacing, and they just keep throwing stuff in there that can be edited out. You know, but the book I was talking about is by Elizabeth Moon. Okay. The Deed of Paxinarion. And it's a straightforward heroic epic fantasy. It's complete. It could be done for something that can be done for an all ages audience because there are some serious issues addressed in there. They can be handled in a way only adults pick up on. So, uh, how do I put it? Um, if oh, I'm not sharing because I'm a double dumbass on me. There we go. So it's called The Deed of Paxinarion. It's you can get it as an omnibus that has all three of them in there. There's also a prequel and a sort of side story novel to it. Uh, it's basically the tale of a young girl who doesn't want to be forced into an arranged marriage, but she has a calling that she doesn't know about yet, to be a paladin from her god, from one of the gods of the setting. And she's not a Mary Sue character. She has her abilities. She gets it through drive and gumption and hard work. And if you know, maybe I could beam this over. Maybe I'll send a suggestion to the Daily Wire in some capacity because they're adapting Daily Wire. My short-term memory is horrible, guys. Adaptation. Daily Wire. So okay, so they're doing Stephen Lawhead's Pendragon cycle, right? Which is this, and the Deeds of Paxinarion could fit right in with that sort of morally positive story they're looking for, adapted in a positive light. So, but I would love to see someone do this. Again, I stopped sharing because I'm a dummy. I got to get used to StreamYards. I've been they're still there, Nerdporial. Anyway, I would love to see when I way back when there was always good fantasy movies you could find. Whether you go back to Hawk the Slayer, which is my favorite all time, um, Dragon Slayer. In the early '80s, a lot of Kroll. There's a lot of good fantasy movies that crept out until Lord of the peak was obviously Lord of the Rings adaptation early 2000s, right? But to me, the big break in fantasy adaptations were Game of Thrones, because Game of Thrones, despite the fact that I only really watched the show for the sort of gotcha moments I knew were coming, because the Game of Thrones novels are not a soap opera, but the Game of Thrones TV show was a soap opera. Okay, and I'm not a big fan of soap opera fantasy, which is a category. It's there. I'm okay with it, but it's not what I'm a fan of. So I really, but the first four seasons were great. They just did it really well, and then and then when Martin sort of got kicked off the show, it went downhill. That being said, Game of Thrones was the gateway drug to fantasy adaptation. We're at an hour, so about to call it here. And there were since then a bunch of fantasy adaptations. The Dresden Files show, which had a couple good episodes and some good actors, but really was sabotaged by the network. But then you had the Shannara adaptation, which got one thing right, which dude who played Al-Anon got Al-Anon 100%. Manny something or other, and then Bruce Dern, I believe, was who in the Wizard's First Rule adaptation played Zed, was spot on with Zed, spot on. Everything else about that, well, the hot chicks were nice too, but he got Zed. He must have read the books and got Zed perfect because he got Zed perfectly. Then we get Rings of Prime, Will of Prime, which are horrible. There've been some other urban fantasy adaptations. I heard Shadow and Bone was okay if it was even if it was woke, you know. So we live in an era when these fantasy adaptations are out there, and I'm just hoping that we can get some of them that are not, contaminated by woke. In any case, my name is Matt. This has been Unbearable 73, doing a live stream. I'm going to target doing a little live stream every Friday, maybe for an hour. A little relaxing, chill live stream. Maybe talk about unboxings, that sort of stuff. And, talk about a few articles and move on. Nothing big. Hopefully, I'll get some people on sooner or later to do a little chit chat with. Anyway, have a good weekend, everyone. Stay safe. Have a happy Halloween. It'll happen before I get back to you guys. And you don't see me doing the hand signs. There we go. Double Vulcan hand salute for you. Have a nice day, and I am out of here.